Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Morcion. I thought I'd come and say hello, wish you a good day. I wanted to continue speaking about this path of ascension, this fifth dimensional energy that we're slowly but surely integrating. For we are going through that. For all those who are accepting to follow the inner guidance, there are many that are not following. Everybody's receiving the guidance, but some of people are choosing to ignore it because it's like too uncomfortable to let them let go of the power they have or whatever. But there are many people who are following the inner guidance and find adaptation within each moment of now. We want to be as devoted to our path as possible. We want to be in devotion to this spiritual ascension path, and we want to call on and invite our guides each and every day. We want to connect to them. We also want them today. I want to bring to invite the Archangel Michael to join in this conversation, to join in this energy, to assist us, to reinforce our energy, feel his presence. For he is a universal presence, and he works through hundreds and hundreds of different mediums. He's one of the greatest educators that we'll ever know. He's a wonderful being, and he's a wonderful friend. And so do not be shy in connecting with the spiritual world. So to know what, before you go to sleep at night, we all go to sleep at night, we're mortal, we're humans, and so before we go to sleep, it's like, what is it we want to change in our life? What is it we want to include in our life? And imagine that tomorrow you will wake up in this ideal situation where what you want has been happening, and then they may not necessarily be physically manifested, but how long know that it's been done. So greet the day that God has created as if it was already done, and then how long can you stay within that frequency? There's going to be a lot of work in forgiveness for the blames of the past. There may be blame or shame or certain things in relationship to the past, to ourselves or to others, and those memories may come back. So we want to, when there is a memory that comes back that has this frequency, it means there is a blockage. So we do not want to hold on the emotional level to that. We just want to let it go, to recognize, acknowledge it, forgive ourselves first, and then forgive all the situation and everyone involved. For this will be a continuous work that we're going to be needing to do until we're all free and clear. So we do not need to return to it on the emotional level. We just need to, when those situations arise, for memory is a mixed bag. It's got positive and negative memory, whether in this life or past lives. But what we want is to access the positive memory so that we can reactivate those powers that we had. Because our will is we are given an infinite will, but we can't hold it, we can grasp it. It's like it's still outside of our reach. Is to understand it's not our will, but thy will be done. The will of God is so powerful. It's God's will that really has meaning, because it's the one that makes everything flow. We move into the flow and we accept that, because when we try to use our will, it is very weak. We realize that no matter how much will we have, it is very little in relationship to this divine will that wants to flow. And the will of God is purposeful, it is powerful, so we want to surrender to that. We're just like fish swimming in this ocean of love, and sometimes there is baits and hooks that are laid there, and the ego wants to catch those, so that then we find it's not really a good idea. So we want to navigate and not be fooled by this ego, what our ego may try to bring to us. I'm gonna pull a few cards to see what. I would say it's better to expand your heart than to expand your hand in reach. When you want to find something, rather than grabbing it, it's better to expand your heart and see how it flows to you. It's far more enjoyable and easier. And we want to raise above the drama of the earth. It's very important to understand that you are the treasures that you seek. All the treasures that people seek in the outside world, they will find within themselves. For many years, Spirit has been saying that to me, and for many years, well, it's fine what you're saying, that everything I'm looking for is within myself, but I'm looking for so many other things outside of me. And now I'm realizing how it works. It's from within that things can come together and flow naturally. So the situation for us is, I'm going to work in 5 cards: past, present, future. The past is the well-being. We understand this well-being. Right now we are being indulgent, so we are, it's okay to be indulgent, but not too long. We're wasting time, and the outcome will be the judgment. There is a higher will that will interfere within our life, because when we are ready to get us to the next step. Right now what we're working on is friendship, is to befriend our body, to befriend our soul, to befriend our creator, to befriend our friends, to befriend life. Everything is based on friendship, when we can be friendly into all life, and the outcome will be the dreams. The dreams are very, very powerful. For everything is we are here to realize our dream, to make our dream come true, and so it is a very powerful time. For I wanted to say that in terms of empowerment, when it comes to past life memory, we all had lives with the Aboriginal, with the American Indians, with the Maya, with an Atlantis and Lemuria. We all had, and many lives we lived in nature, and because we were very free, we were free spirits, and so we had those lives. And it is when we had very little responsibility that we gained the most power, because there is although we had a lifetime where we were very implicated in society as well, and so on, but it is about reconnecting to nature. I'm really eager to move into a house where I'll have my garden and be able to receive my friend in the garden. What's very essential is to turn off all the lies that we've been taught in relationship to what life is. We are all the lies of the 3 dimension, and tune into the truth of the 5th dimension. To do that, we need to clear up our aura in the 4th dimension. Our aura can be expanded or it can be contracted. We want to make a hole. We want to call on the Archangel Metatron to create this Metatronic egg around us. And the eggs, it's like a bubble where we're fully protected within this divine light of Metatronic. This Metatronic light is the pure divine light of Source, and so the egg remains always intact until we move out from unconditional love to conditional love, or we move from unconditional love into fear. So then it dissolves. But if we can stay within the unconditional love, this bubble remains intact. Then we can expand our aura to learn to work with our aura, 4th dimensional aura. But sometimes we need to regroup and to make it stronger. And when we're doing that, we're clearing up all of these negative things from the aura. We're purifying that. We're going through the 4th dimensional mystery schools. We're learning. We've been initiated to so many things that everybody will eventually come to that realization. And so we do have to accept that we've been told lies, and everything is just a scenario that's been scripted to keep us in fear and keep us in ignorance. But we can accept that. As we accept that everything that we know is no longer valid, we can start tuning into our inner truth and our 5th dimensional light body. For we want to live into the oneness of all, and for that we need to create. We need to anchor our light into the earth and into our soul star, to the pillar of light. The light can flow through us as the river of light. We become that. We are the river. There is no way around that. We are the river of life, and we want to make it a two-way communication channel between our higher self and our lower consciousness here, so we can eventually blend into one. But there is a constant exchange. So we want to do that without judgment. So to know that there is no darkness. Darkness is the illusion of darkness that has been created. We are moving towards this ever-increasing perfection. Even if we cannot achieve, we are moving towards that. We want to move into spiritual love, into oneness, to connect to our inner core, to connect to the inner core of the planet, the inner core of the sun, the inner core of the central sun, the Alcyon, to connect with the central sun of the Milky Way, to connect to the omnigalactic central core, this divine paradise, the divine paradise, the center of all things. And to use the sword, the Excalibur sword, the blue sword of light, to cut through all the lies and all the fears. We want to create this tunnel where we can move into the light at the end of the tunnel, create this stairway to heaven. For all human beings will eventually follow us into this mystery schools. They will learn. There is no more space for judgment. There is only space for silence. Silence is something very precious. To make silence is to give ourselves a moment of silence. free moment of silence. Silence is very. In the 80s, I was living in Los Angeles before I moved into my spiritual ascension path. There was this guru that was coming in TV 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, and he was standing in silence with a rose in his hand. I forgot who he was, an Indian person. And so I saw that at first, when for me, it was very funny. So I didn't see any. It just made me laugh. But now I see that he was just holding a frequency in silence, and it's very powerful when you hold the frequency in silence. The most powerful forces of transformation happens within silence. My friend and the Master of Wisdom taught says that an abundance of speech profited nothing, but silence is one of the greatest profit, because everything is revealed within silence. Everything that you can do so much with your will to achieve whatever you need to achieve, but the most powerful, the greatest empowerment will come from revelation, from the things that are coming out from inside of you that will show you things. The will of God is more powerful than our will. So there is no more need for separation between good and evil, between dark and light. There's no more need for this. We want to unify. It is the myth of the Garden of Eden, when the man separated good from evil, he fall into evil, into darkness. But at the original paradise, which was envisioned in this garden of delight, was a wholeness. There was no separation between good and evil. Everything was light. Everything was love. All the work that we need to do for our spiritual ascension path can be done with the assistance of other people. When you sit in the presence of someone who's enlightened, he will assist you in elevating your frequency. But eventually you want to create that for yourself, to learn to do that for yourself. Although you can use I know, for instance, for my humble self, I will do seminars to assist people to learn how to teletransport into other dimensions. I wrote a book that's specially designed to do that, to discover a multi-dimensional nature, and soon I will do seminars. And we need to work with both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, with the blue light of power and the pink light of love. For they are very different aspects. We have two brains, and the third brain is the cerebellum, works with the yellow flame of wisdom, and so we need to work with that. So I wanted to. I was going to speak about the certain aspect of the Earth world, but I'm going to reserve that for a later time. I'm gonna the paintings behind me this is a white hole. It's a white hole number 3. Those are portals of energy. We have a black hole at the bottom roots of our being, and a white hole above that allows us to move from dimension. For they do believe they know what they call black hole in astrophysics are dark islands of space. They are massive stars that have collapsed, and now they are attracting all light and energy, so they can re-energize themselves. But they are not a hole, and they are not black. It's just dark. But black hole, I've been invited to visit a black hole consciously. It is what separates the dimensions. Our black holes, white holes, and blue holes are separating dimension, and it is when you fell asleep at night, you go through a black hole. You go through, and then your consciousness merges into another dimension. And when you wake up in the morning, you come out of that hole. But this is a white hole, and so there's like a power of attraction into that. And this painting is in French. It's from 1990. It's very old. It's on cardboard. Not that old. It's not like from the time of Giotto, but it says. Concentrate the spiritual energy so that we can develop lucidity. Do the spiritual the respiration exercise so that we can purify the organism and develop serenity. Do the exercise of meditative contemplation so that we can return to the origin. So a philosophical painting. I'm going to talk about it. So what I want to say just briefly is that the biggest problem to the world today in terms of the evolution of society is something that's completely legal but shouldn't be, is the lobby. The lobbies are really, those are people, I'm not against lobbies, they make millions and millions to do their job, and they're doing what they're doing because that's what they're called to do. But they should be made illegal. They shouldn't be, because they have millions and millions and millions that are here to corrupt all the system in order to pass laws that will serve private interest in relationship to the whole. And this is because there is so much money that's been exchanged under the table or over or under the table for those for creating laws that are working against the people and for the corporations, that we cannot stop the environmental destruction, that the war are not being stopped. It's because there is so much money that's been poured in, and politicians are not very well paid. So sometimes they are being offered hundreds of millions under the table, or all the political system, not just the politicians that are in the forefront, but all the people that are around them are offered so much money to push those ideas that they are humans, and so they take. But there is a lot of corruption that comes from the lobby, and they shouldn't exist. If we get rid of all the lobbies, we'll be able to start making laws that are balanced and aligned. And so. For the business of the future in ecology, there is all kinds of new technology that are coming out, and there's going to be great business. We can create so many jobs with that, just in the protection and the restoration and embellishment of the planet. I'm going just to sum us up, and I will return. So the highest wisdom for us today is biblical. We want. It is a time of biblical proportion. We are moving close to the last judgment, and so we want to be ready. We want to be ready for that transformation. What we need to understand is the Celtic. We want to be. For it is love. It is love. It is a revelation. It is about realigning. God is all the judgment that God will place. It's like we are forgiven if we are sincere. But there is a need for purification of the world, and so there is at some point the censor will speak and everything will change. There will be no choice. Human will not be able to pass beyond that divine justice, divine judgment that will re-establish all so just prepare yourself for this, to face yourself. There is only you. We are one in essence. So it's like everything we do to one, we do to everybody else. So just continue to cultivate your benevolence, your compassion, your lucidity, your kindness, your joy, each and every day. And just that, you're serving the planet in such a wonderful way. What we need to do is the Celtic, is connect to the world of the magic world, the world of plants, the world of nature. What we need to understand. What we need to do is Atlantis, is to remember those times. Remember the sacred gardens, the sacred crystals of Atlantis, the sacred life that we had there. It's going to be re-emerging, all kinds of powers, all kinds of understanding, this whole inclusive society of. And the outcome is the vessels. So there'll be a lot of freedom and joy and journeying and traveling and exploration that will be happening. But I hope this message was interesting for you. I'm going to finish with a song it's about a song that says soon I'm going to be able to move in my house, and I'm going to start to get instruments, and so it'll be more fun. Also, for those who are on Instagram, you can check it out. I've done 80 paintings on paper since the beginning of the year. 80 paintings. We've been very productive, and there's some very interesting things. There's studies, but I think they're quite interesting. And so this song is about how much one day can change. In one day, all of our life can change. 24 little hours and everything changed. So it's about being prepared for that one day where everything changed. It was like this. What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue, dear. Today I'm part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear, since you said you were mine. Lord, what the difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can be stormy, since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss. It's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day makes. And the difference is you. I thank you very much for sticking till the end. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. And I'll talk to you later. Namaste.